Hi guys, and welcome to this instructional video. This instructional video is all about the core, working from the core space and working beyond the chakra system. So let me kind of give you a background story on this. Like many of you have come from a healing background, a psychic background, and like many of you, like myself, all those years ago, around about 20 years ago, I was taught to open up or expand the auric field by opening and closing the chakra system. Now, around about 5 years ago, I was in a meditation and I kind of got this sense that the chakra system, opening and closing, is very long-winded. It seems very complicated. It seems not right. There seems something missing. And I'm in this meditation and I'm kind of putting that to spirit as I've opened up. And I kind of got this sense that there was something very wrong about it. And I got this sense that there's something far deeper than the chakra system, and something more organic, something more natural. Because I kind of get this sense that physically the chakra system is very much on the surface. It's kind of this sense of an overlay that sits on the top of your energy body. But there's something deeper, and I kind of sitting there within this meditative space, kind of communicating with spirit, and I remember turning around and saying to them, you know, there's something far deeper. And they kind of said to me, what is that, Shane? What is deeper? Where is it? Where is it in the body? And I kind of straight away went to my solar plexus. And I kind of then had this kind of memory that when I'm talking to my clients, I turn around and say, listen, you know the answer to your situation. It's there deep within inside you. And as I'm saying this, normally I'm gesturing to my solar plexus. So I'm like, right, okay, this is it. This is the key. There's something deeper, and it resides at the solar plexus. So I kind of sat with that for a while and kind of took my awareness into that space, into the solar plexus, and I kind of got this sense of, you know, that's exactly where our knowing resides. The knowing resides there at the solar plexus, and not only is the knowing there, there's this real sense of kind of, it's where we listen from. You know, when you're listening in a very kind of deeper way, we're listening through the body, and we're listening through the solar plexus. And not only do we listen, it's where we see. And spirit were like, yes. And they kind of explained to me that that the chakra system was taught to us, and we kind of, you know, borrowed the idea and the concepts from the East. You know, it was kind of handed over to us from the East, and you know, it's there within the Sanskrits, it's kind of there within the Indian tradition, it's there within the Tibetan tradition, and it's kind of come over to the West and very much been misunderstood, misdirected, mistaught, and very much diluted down. So we haven't got the pure version of the chakra system. And the other thing I kind of felt with it is that it's very, very complicated and very kind of long-winded, whereas the core, kind of tapping into that space, felt very natural and not like separate from us, because the chakra system felt very much separate from me, but the core doesn't. It seems to be very much a part of me. So I'm like, right, okay. And spirit kind of explained to me and said, you know, part of our evolution is to move beyond these ideas. These are outdated ideas, Shane. You know, it's many years old. But there is something richer, there is something deeper, there is something more natural, more organic. And as we move forwards, as we evolve, we're all going to kind of start moving and shifting into this core space. Now, the interesting thing about this core space, when I'm kind of trying to feel it and feel its size, it not only was the solar plexus, but it was also the heart center. It was this sense of heart center and heart space and solar plexus all being one. And I kind of got this sense of what it felt like energetically, and there was this sense of real strength and real core, real depth and solidness to it, which I believe was the solar plexus coming from your core, yeah, your core strength. And then I kind of felt the heart space, and you've got this more kind of gentle grace. So there's this sense of divine grace meeting divine will, the core. Divine grace, the heart, meeting divine will and the core. And you've got this sense of these energies just kind of merging, and you could look at them as grace and will. You could look at them as also this kind of masculine drive and this heart feminine energy. But what I really felt over a period of time of working with it is this sense of real balance. It begins to balance you and balances your energy, and you kind of get this strong sense and also this strong feeling of feeling really centered. So I absolutely understood why Spirit planted this seed with my awareness, and how powerful that has been over time. So when I talk to you guys that are training with me and I say to you, we check in, the more you kind of work within this space, the more you get a sense of self, because it centers you, it grounds you, it takes you back to your center, takes you back to your core, and that's a very, very, very powerful place to be. So when I work, I come from that space, and I think that as human beings, it's part of our striving evolutionary nature to kind of come from this heart center. This is a word that is buzzed around a lot of late, and I kind of understand why it's buzzed around, but I'm wondering how many people kind of really understand the concept of living from that place, and this is something that we are working from. I do believe that we are kind of encouraging the next generation of mediumship, and part of that is absolutely living from this core heart center. So this kind of instructional video is going to be in two parts. We've shared, we've discussed, and we've explored some thoughts. I'd be really interested on your questions, any things that comes up from this, any thoughts, and how you get on with using it. Next part of the instructional video is also going to be a meditation. Very, very simple, uncomplicated meditation to begin to take you into the core center. A very kind of simple, natural, organic way of opening up the auric field, and after a while you don't have to opening up. Another really important aspect Spirit shared with me about the chakra system is the vulnerability of the chakra system. That they actually create entry points where, if you imagine they're here on the surface of your energy body and they're portals, they actually create a vulnerability for attachment, which happens through people, and not always a positive experience. Over the years of doing the work that I've done, I quite often come across people that are in a very toxic or very abusive relationship, and that relationship may have come to an end, but you've got the client that is trying to move beyond that situation, but they've got this sense of feeling that they're kind of stuck, and they're stuck in this loop, and they're kind of going round and round and round. and they've got this sense of not being able to break free from the situation. And what I come to understand is that there's an entry point, and there's what we call psychic cording actually happening, and the cording is attached to this person and not allowing them to break free. And normally that cording goes in through the heart chakra, of course. It can go in through the solar plexus. It's a big powerhouse there, so someone can feed off someone's energy there. And also the lower base chakras, for obvious reasons. And it kind of holds this person in that energy, and even if they're no longer in a relationship, all they're doing is thinking about that person and kind of going back to revisit it, and they can't move on, they can't move into a future, because absolutely there's a psychic cording and a kind of unhealthy bonding happening, and it's through the chakra system, their entry points. Now, over the last 5 years of working with this technique, not being able to express it as clearly as I have now, I've kind of come to a real kind of sense that many of my chakras are now dissolved. And what I've got is a sense of lower chakras and rooting, grounding, and I've got a sense of kind of the heart chakra and the solar plexus, but they don't feel like chakras on the surface. They feel something deep within me. The rest have dissolved, completely dissolved. The crown, people say to me, even the crown, yes, the crown has completely dissolved. I feel my connection to the universe, if you like, through the core center. That's how I kind of access it, and I kind of get this sense of living from that space. So hope that makes sense to you. Quite in-depth kind of discussion, exploration of the core center. It's where we hear, where we see, where we know. There's a deep knowing from there. So kind of going to take you on a very gentle meditation now to kind of switch it on, open it up, and kind of when we quieten down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this in 2 parts. Go and find the next video, which is the core meditation video, okay? Core meditation video, and go and find that and explore it, work with it. It's very simple yet very effective. Thanks very much, guys. That's fantastic. Brilliant. See you all very soon.